What's up guys, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. Giyu Tomioka with his water dragon from Infinity Castle. I'm on the landscape page, use a pencil, use an eraser, hit pause. If I go too fast, I'm going to start with his eyes. He's down here, dragon will be here. So, go. Big spiky eyes, intense look on his face, right? Curve it up and over. Top eyelid line, Demon Slayer, sort of sharp, thick, sharp at the front, sort of thick coming around. And they normally have a couple of extra sort of spikes coming out from it. Like at the front, like some extra sort of eyelash lines, kind of. Bottom eyelid line, it's just kind of a V. Like so. And he has some stress lines around his eyes, so like this stuff. And then his iris. So his iris is it's just blue, right? So there's no pupil. They shade it dark blue in the center, so you don't really draw a pupil. So we'll leave it white, and then it'll just be like blue shading in there. So then sharp eyebrow point, and it goes up this way. Sharp angles to it, and then sort of back that way. And then we'll do the same on this side. And it gets thinner as it goes back. Just color it black. His eyelid line in here, there. He's got a big frown in his forehead. And then we'll go over and do this on the other side. So thicken up the eyelid sort of line, darken it up. And then that V. Some stress lines around. And then iris, just a blue circle. And then a heavy wrinkled sort of, oh no, sorry, eyebrow first. Getting ahead of myself. So this goes this way. Open back. And it gets thicker at the front. Like an eyelid line here, here. Then this frown, heavy frown going up, it goes underneath his hair here. What we can see of his nose. So what do? They do sort of like bridge of the nose there, and then they do like some hatching just coming down either side. And then we get his nostrils. And in the mouth, so he's gritting his teeth. So it just goes up and over. Like that. Looks real grumpy. But we add a bottom lip. With a bit of a shadow in the corners. And then some teeth. Just coming across there. So he's got that shadow underneath. That's sort of, it's kind of like a Superman crest sort of shape. And then his chin, pointy chin. There. Face shape is kind of like a wine glass sort of shape, right? So it goes up beside his eye, gradually sort of curving up to like his sideburn, right up here beside his eye. So you're like going to gradually curve it up to there. So we go. Like that, right? And then same on the other side, pretty much. Sometimes it's easier to go down, so if you were aiming for like this spot, like so. Okay, and then there is a V-like sideburn just at the top, kind of there as well. It's kind of underneath his hair on this side. His hair is like being pushed up. So the mark, just this bumpy, wavy one. And he's scratched up and stuff. Just like scratched up on his face and things like that. So his say we can see like a bit of his ear here. And half of it on this side, right? And you can do some ear lines. Just like so. And then his hair. So very long spikes at the front. His hair has been like blasted this way. I don't think there's. Yeah, that's just like his sideburn, so that just goes into the hair there. There is blood under this part of his. Going down his face, kind of that way. Okay, so we can see more hair spikes. So there. And just like this way. And then around the back of the head, kind of bumps. texture going that way. Then he's one. Some then going down here. Just down behind his ear. And then some on this side as well. Okay, so energy is pushing the hair up, and then we'll do, so like his shoulder sort of comes down that way, right? And the other side of it, kind of like folding lines over. And we can see his collar in here, so it's the white collar that the Demon Slayers have. There seems to be a bit of a shadow underneath his chin, like a dark black. Shadow there. And then there's a line down the middle, and then an extra line on the collar, following the shape of it. Then there's a button here, and some folding lines, and a pocket. Doop. So then he has the patterned side of his kimono. So it's got all the cubes in this side. So this side is kind of hard to draw, right? So there's all these folds and stuff. So you don't have to do the cubes. I'll just say that up front, but I'll take a stab at them. And it's kind of, it's cubes that are folding, so it makes it like even harder, right? So you get one cube, but they kind of bend and fold and change their direction, and some of them have these patterns inside. So say that's one, but then the one that comes down here, so you got like a line this way, either side of that, and then things get real confusing. So you think it's confusing now, but say like, you know, they kind of overlap. There's like one in here. They get kind of curvy as well because of it's on his shoulder. So you just kind of start breaking it up into different cube-like drawings. You don't have to get it exact, you know. I think there is some lines on this side, and then just we'll generally kind of fill this out, thinking like a cube. Okay, and it's, I think is like the back of his kimono is just sort of there. And just break it up like that. So that's Giyu. Let's try and do this water dragon now. So we're gonna go just beside his hair here. So it's got like an emerald-like eye. Like kind of like a drop of water, sort of even. And then there's like eyelid lines around it. But this is all like drawn with, they kind of do it with blue like effects, but we'll do a line. So, because we have to. So we just go bumping around, very fluid. And then his nostril. And in there. So his mouth is open. Again, just going across here. Kind of wavy. And then down. Like so. And there's like a white edge to some of this. So there's like, you know, this sort of stuff kind of like this coming around, and like extra sort of bumpy sort of water lines and cracks and stuff as well, like extra details, sort of like little triangles of dark blue, sort of like spikes maybe, but it could just be like a different shade of blue they're sort of trying to draw in, you know. You can make that up. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. So we do maybe the inside of the mouth, right? So see his chin just comes down. You get sort of spikes and stuff as you go. This goes in behind the hair. And then there's loads of teeth. There's some teeth in behind. Teeth there and down here. And then the other side of his mouth, so it comes this way. And teeth. Tongue just coming down that way. Right, so then it's like lots of spikes and then like a watery tail going that way. So just lots of this basically. And then like it's all water in there, so just a gap in there. And then more spikes coming back this way. Okay, and then it's like all spiky sort of water then. Spikes just coming down here. And then there's like water all around. Kind of bubbles or splashes and stuff. This can be kind of random. You don't have to do this like exactly the way I'm doing it. But then, yeah, like lines of like blue on the neck, you know, like all this kind of stuff that they do. Basically like overlapping continuous kind of different lines. So like, and that's like riddled with different shades of blue and white and all that. So such a cool fight between Akaza, Tanjiro, and Giyu. That's him with his water dragon. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.